Good morning, cadets. We are going to start the second chapter of the textbook Honeysuckle for the class 6th. The title of the chapter is How the Dog Found Himself a New Master. How the Dog Found Himself a New Master. And this story is very interesting. We say, dog is a faithful animal. We keep in the house dog as a pet animal. We love that dog. In return, that dog loves us very much. We take care of these pet animals. They also take care of us. They guard us. How, in the passage of time, the dog became man's servant. And the story is weaving around this idea. So it's quite interesting story. And let's study this story. When you look at the wolf, we feel that the dog and the wolf are closely related because the wolf also look like dog, but the difference is in their size. And wolves are very ferocious too. You may also know something about how over the centuries human beings have domesticated and tamed wild animals. When you look at our history, we know that we have domesticated a number of animals, and it has happened over a long period of time. We have tamed a dog, and dog over the period has become a faithful animal which has been serving the human beings. And here is a story about how the dog became a tame animal. Dogs were once their own masters. Dogs were once their own masters. This means the dogs were totally independent. They lived like a master, the way they want to live their life. They were not serving anybody, and they lived the way wolves do. Wolves live in the forest. They live all alone. They search for food themselves, and they live in freedom. Dog also had liberty. Until a dog was born who was ill pleased with this way of life. So dogs were leading this independent life. They were living all alone. They were the masters of themselves. They never served anybody. But they were not so happy with this kind of life because there was one particular dog who was born and it was not very happy with this kind of life. Leading life all alone. They were the masters. They were independent. They had to search for food. And why he was not happy? Ill pleased. Ill pleased means not happy. You are familiar with the word pleasant, pleasure. So pleased means happy, pleasant, or pleasure, happiness. So ill pleased, not happy, not pleased. How was his life? How he was feeling? This dog was feeling. He was sick and tired of wandering. He didn't like wandering from place to place, looking for food, looking for, searching. The phrase look for means search. Look after means take care. So, what he was doing, he was looking for food. He was searching for food. He was wandering from place to place. He was going from place to place. Being frightened, he was afraid. Afraid of those who were stronger than he. So there were many other animals which were stronger than him. Wolves were stronger, bears were stronger, tigers, lions. So many wild beasts are there in the forest. So living in the forest amidst all these wild animals. And it had to look for the food. It was so much frightened, it was so much afraid of those animals which were stronger than dog. So this particular dog which was sick and ill-pleased this way of life, wouldn't like to look for food, wandering from place to place, he thought it over. And what did he decide? He decided that the best thing for him to do was to become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on earth. So rather than remaining the master, rather than remaining independent, rather than leading life all alone, looking for food, it failed. It is good to become the servant of somebody who is quite strong on this earth. So if it is serving that, he need not look for food. The master will provide him food. He need not worry about food. He need not wander about from place to place. And he need not get frightened of other animals. So anybody who is stronger, he can be servant of them. And he set out. Set out means what? Set out means he started or he set out. He started to find such a master. Now, what this dog wanted, he wanted to look for a master. Why he wanted to look for a master? Because it was tired of leading life all alone, searching for food. So it felt if he becomes a servant, then he need not look for food. He'll be provided food and there'll be even security because the animal which is stronger than him will take care of him and will look after his security too. He walked and walked. So now he's looking for a master. So he kept on walking. He walked and walked. He kept on walking and then met a kinsman of his relative, who looks like him. Can you see her in this picture? What do you see? You can see a dog and you can see a wolf. So his kinsman, who is just like a dog, that is wolf, a big wolf, was as strong as he was fierce. So the wolf looked quite strong. Wolf looked very violent, very fierce, very ferocious, and the dog felt, he has been able to find a master. So the wolf asked, "Where are you going, dog?" And the dog says, "I am looking for someone to take up service with. I want to serve somebody. I am searching for somebody who can be my master. Would you like to be my master? I am ready to become a servant." The wolf agreed, and the two of them went on together. The wolf agreed when the dog offered him to be at his service. The dog said he is ready to become his servant. The wolf was quite happy to receive him as his servant. So the wolf has agreed, and here he says the kinsman of a dog. So the writer says kinsman of dog. What does it mean? It means relative because the wolf looks like a dog. another 10 minutes. ಅದು ಇವತ್ತು ಹಾಳಾಯ್ತಂತೆ. ತೊಳಿತು ಇವತ್ತಿದು ಇದು ಆಯ್ತಾ. Who was the master of the dog? That was Wolf. And they walked. The dog and the wolf, they kept on walking. They were there, where? In the forest. And all of a sudden, the wolf lifted his nose. All of a sudden, what has happened? The wolf became alert, sniffed, it started smelling, darted quickly. It just moved very quickly off the path. So rather than walking on the path which it was walking, suddenly it moved quickly into the bushes and crept deeper into the forest, and it went deeper into the forest. It went inside the forest. And the dog was surprised. It felt that the wolf was quite strong. But what has happened here? The wolf got scared, frightened, and it was frightened of whom? The wolf said, "There's a bear out there." Actually, the dog was feeling that wolf is quite strong. But the dog found that the wolf was afraid of bear, and that is the reason why it went into hiding. It suddenly went into the bushes. It went into the forest. So there's a bear out there and he might eat up both of us. This bear will eat up. Can you see here in the picture bear? Yes. So it was very much afraid. The dog was very much afraid. The wolf was very much afraid now. And what does the dog decide? Now here you can see the picture of bear. So this dog came to know that bear was stronger than the wolf. So seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, now the dog changes its minds. And the dog decided that it should approach the bear and it should take up service with him. He should become the bear's servant. So he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. So he goes to the bear and says that I want to be your servant. So can you become my master? And the bear agrees to that. So they walked on and soon saw a herd of cows. So they were walking together. And soon what did they see? They saw a herd of cows. For a group of cows, we say herd of. So it's a collective noun, herd. Okay. So herd is a collective noun and they saw a herd of cows. But just as they were about to come up to it, they were stopped by a terrible noise. So there was a terrible noise and they were very much scared. Who was scared? The bear was scared. The dog was also scared because suddenly there was a very big noise. Suddenly there was a terrible noise. So what do you see in this picture? You see a herd of cows. Herd. That means group of cows. Group of Cows. The cows were running in a panic, fear. The cows were very much afraid, and these cows were running because they were afraid, they were frightened, and they were running in all directions. The bear looked out from behind a tree, and behind a tree, the bear had hidden itself when it had heard that terrible noise. And then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. It also went deep into the forest. Now, why did I have to come here? Said he to the dog. Do you know that why did I come over here? It is because it is the lion who rules the forest. It is the lion who is the strongest animal in the forest. And I am really frightened of the lion, and that is the reason why I have been frightened. So here the dog reveals to the yes, the dog it comes to know that it's the lion which is the strongest animal and it is not the bear. So here the strongest beast on earth is lion. He's the strongest beast on earth. So bear tells the dog that the strongest animal on this earth is lion. And we say lion is the king of forest. Well, then I'll say goodbye to you, bear. Then dog very happily says goodbye, bear. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. I want that master who is the strongest one on this earth. And finding that bear is not stronger than anyone on earth, it decides to serve the lion. And off the dog went to ask the lion to be his master. So the dog goes to the lion. Can you see here? Lion. It goes to lion and asks him to become his master. The lion agreed to it, and the dog stayed with him. So the dog stayed with lion, served him for a long, long time. For a long period of time, it was dog was servant of the lion. It was a good life because he need not worry about anybody. All other animals were afraid of the lion, so there was no problem at all for the dog. It was a good life and he had nothing to complain of. There was nothing to complain of. He could get whatever he wanted. No one dared to touch the dog or offend him in any way. Nobody could hurt the dog because the dog was always with the lion. But one day something happened. The two of them were walking side by side along a path. The lion and dog they were walking on a path when all of a sudden the lion gave a great roar. So lion cried loudly, lion roared. Then slowly it started backing away, it started retreating. He began to back away very, very quietly. The dog was surprised. It was feeling that the lion is the strongest one, but it was also afraid of somebody. The lion was afraid of whom? That is the question. I smell a man coming this way. The lion reveals that it is the man, and he was afraid of the man. We would better run for it or we will be in trouble. So better run, otherwise they will hunt us. Both of us will be in trouble. Oh, well, then I'll say goodbye to you, dog said. Then dog said, if you are not the strongest one, how can I serve you? I want the master who is stronger than anyone on the earth. And you know, ultimately, what has happened here? The dog was trying to find out, and it leaves the company of the lion and it decides to serve whom? Let's see here, whom he tries thinks of serving. So the dog decides to serve the man, and off the dog went to join the man, and he stayed with him and served him faithfully. This happened long ago. So now the dog has become a faithful servant of man. So this which has happened long, long ago, but to this day, the dog is man's most loyal servant and knows no other master. So the only master of the dog is man, and dog is a faithful animal. Goodbye.